This video is talking about least common multiple. Least common multiple is another thing you can do with the upside down birthday cake method. Why would you need to know the least common multiple? Most commonly you'll need it when you're working with fractions. Like if you're adding or subtracting fractions, remember you need to have the common denominator. So least common multiple is a way to find the simplest form of a denominator, so the smallest number that both numbers go into, without just multiplying those two numbers. So when we do our least common multiple, we started out just like we did before with our upside down birthday cake. So if we're going to start with this one, the 64 and 30. Remember, we need to use our divisibility rules on here. So just like before, we're taking 64 and we're putting 30 beside it. We're making our layer. Again, divisibility rules tell us last digit of both of these are even, so we can take a 2 out. We'll do the shorthand version. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into 4 without any remainders. 2 goes into 4 2 times. Then we're going to take 2 into 30. 2 goes into 3 once. The remainder of 1. 2 goes into 10 5 times. Alright, we don't have two numbers that are even, so we know that 2 isn't going to work. So looking at your divisibility rules, we need to decide what to do next. Alright, let's check to see would 3 work. So we're going to add 3 and 2. We get 5, so it isn't going to work. And 15, of course, would work with 3. 4 isn't going to work. 4 would work for 32, but 4 does not work for 15. 5 wouldn't work because they both don't end in 0. 6 won't work because 6 isn't a multiple of 15. 7 won't work, 8 won't work, and 9 won't work. So when you were doing the least common multiple, the big difference is instead of just multiplying on the outside like we did with the greatest common factor, we have to make an L. It's a sideways L, and we multiply all of those numbers. So we're going to take 2 times 32 times 15. I'm going to do an easy one that I know. I'm going to take 2 times 15, which I know is 30. And 30 times 32 is a little bit easier. So I'm going to put 32 on the top, multiply it times 30. I know this whole first row is going to be 0 because it's 0 times anything is 0. To get to this next row, remember we put a 0 down. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. Add those together. 0, 6, 9. So our LCM, or least common multiple, is 960. All right, let's do it with our 26 and 78. So again, we're writing 26 next to 78. They're both even numbers, so we're going to put a 2 out there. 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 goes into 6 3 times. Now we're going to go into 78. 2 goes into 7 3 times, and there's a remainder of 1. 2 goes into 18 9 times. So we have 39 and 13. Alright, let's see. 2 doesn't work anymore. Let's see if 3 works. So 1 plus 3 is 4. 3 plus 9 is 12. Add 2 and 1 is 3. 3 does not go into 13. And remember, 13 is a prime, so we can go see if 13 would go into 39 evenly. The only way it could is if we multiplied it times 3, because when we look at that, remember when we look at that first number, to make this first number we have to multiply it times 3. That's why my first guess would be 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. So 13 does work. So we're going to put our 13 out here. 13, of course, goes into 13 one time, and we know that 13 goes into 39 3 times. So again, to find LCM, we have to make our L. We have to take 2 times 13 times 1 times 3. This 1 times 3 is just 3. I'm going to do an easy 2 times 3 is 6, so 13 times 6. 7, oh that's 18. Carry the 1, 6, 78. So our LCM is 78. And sometimes your LCM can be one of the numbers that are in there. Really, you can do LCM or GCF with any number of numbers. So I'm going to show you how to do this one with 3. It's no different than a 2-1 other than you have 3 numbers in your first layer. So you have your 14, your 42, and your 28. Using your divisibility rules, 4, 2, and 8, they are all even, so we can go and put our 2 here. 2 goes into 14 7 times. 2 goes into 4 in 42 twice, no leftovers. 2 goes into 2 once, going into 28. 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 goes into 8 4 times. Okay, now we do not have even numbers, so we have to check our rules. We have this prime of 7 in here, so we should check our prime of 7. So if we look at our multiplication chart, or we know our multiples of 7, we will see that we have 21 and 14 in both of those. So we can use 7 as our next layer. So 7 out here, 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 21 3 times, 7 goes into 14 twice. Alright, so then again we make our L. So we have 2 times 7 times 1 times 3 times 2. This is basically not there. This is going to be 14 times 3 times 2 is 6. 14 times 6, 24. So our LCM equals 82. Thanks for watching.